So I'm going to be playing in my Dino Weekly multi-surface journal today, but word of warning, I have got the windows open in my craft room today because it's very, very warm. So you may hear some sounds of passing traffic, people, aeroplanes, somebody mowing the lawn or doing something out there today. So if you hear any strange noises, it's not me, I promise. Anyway, back to what I was doing. So as you can see, broke one of my nails. Never mind, it's a different story. Dino Weekly multi-surface journal, and I'm going to be, he says, pulling those out of the way very, very quickly, just working on the right hand side page of this journal today, but I will spill over onto this side when I'm wiping up and that kind of thing. And I'm going to be playing with this new Digi download set that I've created specifically for doing this page today, because I was in the mood for a bit of whimsy. I was in the mood for butterfly wings today, so I've created this collage set with different sentiments and quotes, but as I normally do, I've done the composite image all in one go, but if you want to make it up yourself, then I've also given you the individual bits to play with some extras. Now if this one is too small for you, because this one's formulated for kind of smaller journals, and it's about 6 inches by about by about 4 across, so you could do that in your smaller journals and the flip journals, that kind of thing. Or if, like me, you sometimes like to go big, you've got this one, which is huge, which is almost 8.5 inches by 5 inches, and which fits perfectly in the large multi-surface, actually not the largest now. So actually this is the smallest multi-surface journal now, and also the large Dilutions journal. It will also fit those pages also. So you've got one for both sides. And again, for this set, I've done the larger composite, but I've also done all the pieces if you're that way inclined and you like to put all your collage bits together or use them for other things too. So, but being lazy, I'm going to cut out this main one and use some of the sentiments and quotes from the other pages in this page today. So before I get on with anything else, I'm going to prepare my background page. Now I haven't added any tissue paper to a background page for a long, long time, so that's what I'm going to do today. I've got this kind of like old map tissue paper that I'm going to add onto my page. I'm going to grab a brush and some matte medium. This just happens to be the indigo blue matte Slap It On. So it's just giving it a quick shake, and I'm just going to blather the page, great English word, blather it on, smother, cover the page, get a nice even coating, and it doesn't matter obviously if you get too much on because you're going to be going over it anyway. I'm just going to drop that down onto the page. I'm trying to get it kind of equal, but knowing me I won't. That'll do. And then I'm just going to quickly go over the top, and if there's any wrinkles, it don't matter because we're all about the wrinkles. You can try and smooth it out with your brush as you're putting it on. Put a bit more of that stuff on. I can hear a dog barking in the background. It's possibly Mr. Bentley. Ian's taking him out for a walk. Well, actually I've thrown them out of the house because the pair of them were making far too much noise today. So I've told them to go for a walk while I record. And leave me alone. I need to concentrate. And I can't concentrate with those two banging around the house. There we go. So, background sheet all nicely done. So I need to drop that in some water. He says, where's his water pot gone? There it is over there. Get that dry quickly. So I'll get this dried. It shouldn't take too long, and then I'll be right back. So that's nice and dry. Now normally I'd kind of put a coat of gesso over the top of that to knock it all back, but I'm not going to today. I'm actually going to do that with some green acrylic paint. So this is the Sage from Artiste to Do Crafts, Design Objectives, UK based company. So I'm going to splatter some green paint, and I've got a baby wipe. It's a wet baby wipe. If it was dry, it would be kitchen roll. Somebody did ask me the other day whether I used wet baby wipes or dry ones. Some people do ask some strange questions. That if it was dry, it would be just tissue. So I think when we refer to baby wipes, we mean wet ones. So as you can see, it doesn't matter that I'm going over and using that page as a mop-up. So maybe get a little bit more, just to knock that more into the background. That's it, wipe it on. And then wipe it off again. So we leave it thicker in some areas, deeper in others. Took too much off there, so that can go back on again. So that's the beauty of baby wipes. Okay, so you can still see the pattern behind that. Just grab a clean one to do my fingers. So you can still see the pattern behind that, and when we do dry it will start showing through. So we've got a little bit of nice texture coming through from that background. So we've got nice underpapers, as they're referred to. So I shall get this dry, which shouldn't take long in today's heat, especially with this thing on it, and I'll be back. Okay, now that sage green is dry, I'm going to bring in some other colours. This time I'm going to use a stencil as well. So this is my Arabesque stencil, which is still available on my website for those that are interested. I'm going to grab some soft green, which is a nice lighter green, and this time I'm just going to grab a little plastic palette. Bits of paint that get everywhere. I'm just going to drop some in to there, and I've got a cosmetic sponge. It doesn't really make any difference what kind of sponge you use. And then I'm going to just add in some of that pattern into the background. So this is just a lighter shade of green. Just adds a nice bit of contrast. Tone on tone, if that's the right phrase. Just over there, and then we'll do some coming in from the right hand side. As well. Also. And the beauty again this one is that you can, if you want a heavier kind of colour, you can just wait a few seconds, don't move the stencil, and then go back in, and that will put another layer of paint over the top of your first one with no hassle. So just give it a moment or two just to kind of dry, and then you can go back and add a little bit more. If you're so inclined, which I was. There we go, like that. That stencil can now get put to one side. Once again, let's get this dried off and I'll be back. Okay, now that green is dry, I'm going to bring in another stencil. This time it's my Gothic Clover stencil, and I'm going to lay that down onto the page as well. This time I've got some indigo blue metallic gold paint called Goldfinger. I've shook the bottle up so I've got some of that gold paint in the lid, and I have another cosmetic sponge, and I'm just going to pick up some of that paint, put it onto the palette. This is just so I don't have to mess up my new mat. And then I'm going to add some of these gothic clovery kind of patterns, this time in a kind of nice metallic gold effect, heavier towards the top, just lightening up when it comes down to meet the other pattern. Heavier at the top, and then as it starts to wear away, just bring it down like so. Green and gold, and it's not even Christmas. What am I thinking? Okay, so let's get some more and add some at this side over here. Take it right to the edge of the page. And again, like I said, I don't mind going over my existing stenciling, because that's what creates those lovely kind of layer effects. Sorry for the noise. Just hold that stencil down. Love it. Can't beat a bit of bling. And then I'm going to bring some down here just into this bottom right hand corner. A bit more of that gold paint. Start a bit heavy and then just work my way into the centre of the page and then back again. And then just come across a little bit across that bottom and just fade it out like so. I think what I'm going to do is match up the pattern at the top there and just add a little bit more. Just want to go a bit more across the top. Just think it needs a little more. Just a little bit. Just for balance. You know what I mean? That'll do. Yes, that will do. So let me just try and hold it up, see if you can catch that. There we go, look at that. Look at that shine. Love it. Okay, let's get that dried. And again, I'll be right back. So that's all now dry. And I've also taken the opportunity while that was drying just to go and cut out my main focal image from that Digi Collage sheet. Now some of the corners are starting to peel up, which is fine. I quite like that. So I may actually make a feature of that later on, maybe just curl them in, add a bit more colour underneath, or I might even tuck some fragments of paper, like old maps, that kind of thing. I might actually tuck those underneath just to make it look as though there's something underneath it. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. So anyway, I need to get this main image glued down. Now I could go over it with matte medium, but instead I'm just going to do something really, really quick, which is just go over with some glue. Now I did print this onto slightly thicker paper than ordinary photocopy paper, but it's only like the next weight up, if you like. It's not even cardstock really, it's just heavy paper. I'm just going to add a little bit, put some around that hole that I also remember to cut out, and then I can stick that down. And I have gone around the edges, in case you're wondering, with a distress marker just to hide those raw white edges. So I can now stick her down like so. I've got a little tiny bit of wiggle room. That's it. Just to push it down. Like so. Because I printed her on my inkjet, she's not shiny, she's already matte. So I don't really have to go over with clear gesso or matte medium. It's all pretty good. And I've got one of the quotes. Now this is one of the quotes from the set, which is from the Bette Midler song from Beaches, which I've always loved. So you've got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Always loved that song from Beaches, and I also had the privilege of seeing Bette live in concert at, I can't remember, I think it was Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas a few years ago when she was last there, which was one of my bucket list items. The other one was to see Barry Manilow, and I also got to see him too, so I've got the set. Because you can't do Bette Midler without doing Barry Manilow. Okay, I'm going to put that just underneath, so that now grounds her into the picture quite nicely. Okay, so I need to leave that just to set and dry for a few seconds, and I'm probably going to fix these two corners while I'm at it, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I just glued those corners back down again. Couldn't really get the matte paper to work, so I just thought, ah well, what the heck, I'll just stick it down as normal. Okay, so moving on, I've got some white paint. This is just the Dina Wakley white, just a small pot. Don't need a lot of this because I'm going to be adding those fabulous splatters. I know people laugh and say, you know, that they don't really make that much of a difference, but they do. Don't listen to what anybody says. White splatters unify a project. Trust me. I'm just going to put my hand over, because I don't want any falling really onto her face. But I don't mind one or two. There we go. It does really help just to unify the page. Then add some smaller ones. My computer monitor that I watch these videos on as I'm doing them actually is splattered with paint from doing just this. There we go. A bit of a baby wipe. I can clear all that up now. Just quickly before it sets, because it will do very, very quickly because it's very, very warm today. So I'm now just going to grab my heat gun, get those white splatters dried, and then I'll be right back. So those little white splatters have dried in the background. Now you can see they've actually died back a little bit and kind of blended in a little bit more and just helped to bring everything together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm also going to add a little bit of a doodly kind of border all the way around the page, because I'm just in that kind of doodly kind of frame of mind today. Just take these little clips off that are just holding the page down, because with the heat they have started to curl just a tiny fraction. And just clip them back together again. And then I'm going to just use that black pen. This is the Pigma Micron. And I'm just going to add a scribbly border around that quote box too, just to kind of unify that and bring that in with the rest of the page. Just add a couple of little scribbly bits on just to kind of make it all blend together. And then what you can do is, if you want to, you can go around and outline those bits if you want, or you can add just a little bit around the edges of certain areas just to highlight them and make them stand out a little bit more. Just like I'm going to do with the little crown. Just to kind of make it stand out just a wee bit more. Just like that. Just helps to bring it kind of all together. And then if you wanted to, you could add some more kind of journaling, illegible script around the butterfly wings if you want to, but I'm going to call that a day today. I'm not going to do any more to it because my tummy's rumbling and I think it's time for something to eat. So I'm just going to sign it and date it. And what is today's date? Oh, well, let's just call it May, because I can't remember whether it's the 9th or the 10th today. I'm completely gone. It's the 10th. There you go. That's it. I'm going to call that done. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, without whose generosity and support these videos would not be possible. Thank you.